So last we have left off, you had been assigned a task by Saltmarsh to go out into an island where they've sent people before and peace offerings, and none of them have returned. They could be dead, they could have not made the journey, we're not too sure. You have decided to agree to his terms and have taken a shipment of goods. On the way, you navigated a storm quite expertly, and then you made it to the island in kind of bad weather, but with all the cargo, and you were attacked by 4 apes. Upon killing them, you heard a thunderous roar behind you. Turning around, you saw charging towards you a giant triceratops. You all began running towards the river over here. The river current is extremely strong. You all reach the edge of the river as this triceratops chases you down.
Alright, I'd like to use Fairy Fire. It needs to make a Dexterity 13 save.
Dexterity 10 minus 1, so 9. So Throckmorton turns around and fires off his spell through the staff. It just whirls it around in the air. Purplish fire just spins around, lighting this dinosaur on fire. And you see glowing a faint purple now, and you will all get advantage on your attacks against him.
Doofenshmirtz and Apathy, are you willing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Basically, you can roll a d4 and add it to any of their rolls or checks for an hour.
You see you begin glowing a very warm glow as he reaches out his hands, and the same orange glow just begins coming upon Doofenshmirtz and Apathy as you received an emboldening bond.
This might be a bit ambitious, but I've got some rope and I want to tie it to my boomerang
Okay,
and I want to throw it across the river.
please make a athletics check.
-1, that's good. Okay. 9.
You can add a d4.
4. Let me just 2. Okay, so that's 11.
You need a 12. As he takes the boomerang out and begins frantically wrapping it around in the rope, you chuck it across and you just see it plummet into the river and then slowly comes floating back towards you.
I will use my short bow. We have an 11 to hit. But with the plus d4, right, okay. +3, so we've got a...
Great.
13.
It's charging towards you. There's just a cloud of dust around it. As you fire your short bow into the rampaging charge, arrow pierces the chest. How much damage, please?
8.
It just roars in agony as the arrow gets stuck into the chest. It's still rushing towards you, though.
I'm going to use my Misty Step spell to teleport onto the back of the dinosaur.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my rope to hook around its mouth and then use it and then ride the dinosaur.
Please make a strength check.
5.
And all you just see the cloud of mist surround Kevin, and he vanishes, and then you just see the mist appear on top of the dinosaur, and with the rope just spinning around, you pull up his neck slightly, but you're unable to control the dinosaur as it charges towards the group. He's gonna just rampage past Throckmorton straight to Doofenshmirtz. Please, can you make a dexterity saving throw?
Well, 18.
So he hits into Doofenshmirtz. You both are able to stay on the ground as it's just horns push into you, and you are going to take 14 points of piercing damage from this.
Shared burden. If anyone's else willing, we can share some of this damage out.
14.
I can risk a little bit.
I can take some because I'm on top of the dinosaur, so I'm free of its horns.
That's a good point. The dinosaur just mowing everyone down, but Kevin's the only person taking any damage.
I'll take 3.
I'll take 5.
I'll take 3.
And Doof can take the other 3.
Oh, guys, you're so lovely.
You know, its horns dig into Doof and Schmertz. The same orange glow that usually fills OU. So it kind of just descends and piles out of him and just surrounds like an umbrella around the party as you all take significant damage and you all feel like you just had something just dug into you.
Is there one goblin on each of his horns?
Currently, yes.
Can I take some leaves from the top of those trees and try to feed it to the dinosaur?
if you really want to.
I can sing a little song while I'm doing it.
Roll an animal handling check.
15?
So you grab some leaves and you begin offering them up to the dinosaur while singing. It just roars in your face and just filled with spit, so it just flies over your body.
I'm going to walk towards it, with my arms out, looking very calm, singing my bee hymns. I'm coming in peace.
Okay, roll again another animal handling check.
5.
Seeing first Throckmorton come up with leaves and then you come like arms outstretched and coming. It's just growing impatient and just stomping around, trying to attack you all still.
I think I'm just gonna club the dinosaur. Well, that would be 4 to hit.
Wait, advantage, you get advantage.
Oh, you do
I
get
do?
advanced fairy fire.
Well, that would be 6 to hit.
Doof and Schmerz are impaled by this thing, horn in each chest. You take out your clubs and you're just begin whacking it on the horns, and clearly it's not taking any damage from this.
Can I go behind the dinosaur and skewer its ass with a rapier? 14 to hit. The damage is 10.
Kevin, you've just seen Apathy run towards its back and just shove it into its butt.
I'm right near its little brain, behind its armoured face. I can stab it in its brain. I think we'll just go with a double sword. So a 9 and a 5.
And then try the second sword.
18.
Roll your damage for that, please.
It's a 9.
Kevin, atop the Triceratops, you see where its brain will most likely be. One sword, you plunge it into it, and it kind of just skirts off its armored head. And then you try again with the second one, just both hands, and just dig into it. It skewers it, hasn't quite reached the brain, stuck inside its flesh. It's going to shake its head madly. Doofenshmirtz still pierced with the horns.
Hang on, dragon.
Of course, Dragon, go ahead.
Get it to bite its eyes. Nice. 17 plus 4.
The pseudo-dragon comes round and is flying around in the air trying to protect you, Kevin. It bites into its eye and then just rips it out, and you're just sprayed with blood, flailing with its eye plucked out. You're going to try and stomp madly. Throckmorton, that's a 18 to hit.
That hits.
17 points of bludgeoning damage. It crunches on your leg, the bone just crunches. You fall to the ground, you feel the dust rise around you as you see its foot descend on your chest. You hear the crunch as if you're out of body and just watching it from above.
It's 12 with a death saving throw.
You're kind of still barely conscious as you still feel the pain in your chest, and you slowly begin to return to your body.
I'll come help you in a second. I want to try a trick that Brother Bartholomew did in the monastery. I pull out a slice of bread, throw it in the air, and say, "Oh look, food!" And now I want to run underneath the dinosaur, and I'm going to punch it twice in the testicles.
Make a persuasion check, I guess.
13.
So as you chuck the bread into the air, you see the dinosaur's one good eye look up, taken by that brief moment of surprise, and you run underneath and you punch upwards. You try to. You have a look around and you cannot find the testicles that should be there. But you punch anyway. Please make 2 unarmed strikes.
21 to hit with one, and 15 to hit with the other. 8 damage in total.
And so you just punch upwards twice into the belly of this female Triceratops.
I'll spare the dying on Rocky.
You just see him next to you, and you kind of just reach down with your the Resurrectinator to resurrect Throckmorton. Throckmorton, you are still unconscious. You have 0 hit points, but you no longer have to make that saving throws. Your spirit returns to your body. Your ribs are all cracked into your organs. You are unconscious and in a very, very critical state. But Doofenshmirtz has saved your life.
I don't have a disguise kit, but I have a forgery kit. Now, can I forge myself into a baby dinosaur? Because I've got horns anyway. It might be a mother. We don't know. It might want to be a mother and not have children yet. And so I think I want to disguise myself as a baby dinosaur and be a distraction and just run away and lead it away.
With a forgery kit.
Can you make a deception check? Disadvantage. Disadvantage. It knows its kind.
We've got a 21 to begin with and a 19.
Okay. Ooh. What's its wisdom? 0. You just make it. And so you and with its one good eye left, she out of her eye is something that could be a young Triceratops.
Maybe if I do an unarmed strike on my sword, I can push it right in.
You can just make another weapon attack with it.
13.
As you press down with your sword and it digs further and further in, so please, is it 1d8 for your sword?
6.
Hitting the top of the sword, you notice it sinks significantly lower into the skull of this thing. It does not seem to hit the brain, and it roars up at the sky once again.
My pseudo-dragon is going to try and sting out the other eye. 17.
And then a d4 again, please.
2.
This one is not enough to rip out the eye, but the pseudo dragon flies around and just begins chomping at the eyelid. While she begins turning around, Kevin, you can have a dexterity saving throw.
Remember, I'm holding onto my sword, so I've got something to grip. 8.
That's what you needed with the holding onto the sword. Turns around and sees Apathy disguised very crudely as another Triceratops, and with one missing eye and one partially obscured eye, it recognizes you as another dinosaur, and so becomes enraged at the surrounding party. Oh no, Doofenshmirtz, you're still impaled, aren't you? You spin around to the front as well. Okay, it's just gonna stomp then. So, or you're the last one that can really hit. That is natural 1. As it's stomping around, it falls down, just buckled on its knees. All of you just make a perception check, please.
6.
21.
21.
10 from me.
16.
You all hear, and anyone who got above 20 would see a figure in the trees, peeking out, watching what's going on.
Can I roll navigation to see if I can navigate my mind?
Can you not turn into your spell?
Natural 20.
What are you doing? Navigating your mind?
Yeah.
So you try turning into your starry form, and you astral project. You're ascended out of your body right now. Your movement speed is 100 feet.
Can I tell the whatever he is to help us?
Your mind just begins to unravel the mysteries of the universe as you enter this Furbolg's mind. You know that his name is Kelkian as you ask him for help. You feel his fear, and then you notice that he begins to take out a bow. You've alerted him, so you clearly need help.
Let's hit it with the mace and punch it in the belly. So 14 with the mace and 17 with my fist. Total of 8 damage.
With the mace, you whack it with one, and then you punch it in the stomach again. Breaks off a few of its scales, and you see blood underneath beginning to pool around it.
I'll try stab it in the head with a longsword. Well, 8 to hit.
Oh, you get advantage because of the fairy fire.
6 to hit.
Pushing the longsword, you're still impaled, and you kind of just scrape off its forehead as you're trying desperately to attack this thing.
If I run underneath it, because it seems to be getting angry that like these things are gonna kill the little baby dinosaur.
Yeah.
So if I run underneath it, surely it's like, oh, I need to stand still so that I don't hurt the baby dinosaur.
Okay.
So I run underneath it. Maybe slash at one of its toes.
So
Go with
you
that.
rush underneath it as it's lying there. You notice it just suddenly get really still as you approach. Still doesn't see through your disguise, and then you take out your dagger and please make an attack against it.
17 and the damage is 4.
You just manage to cut off a good chunk of it, and you hear it cry as Kevin, on top of it, you just feel it shudder.
Guys, I found a squishy spot. Go for the toes.
Maybe I'll just keep going trying to dig this sword into its brain. Oh, 5.
You try and push it deeper, and you probably hit its skull more than anything. You just manage to reach bone, and you're unable to pierce that.
Can I use a bonus action to like hang on really tight to my sword?
You're holding on to it anyway, so yeah, down with that.
Dragon. 17.
And after the first initial nips, it does pluck its eye out, and you hear a cry around. So she rises again to her feet and is going to try and just gore Apathy. I'll roll disadvantage because it's blind. The lowest was a 12 plus 9 as it tries to gore into 19 points of piercing damage.
Hellish rebuke.
Rolled 11.
So 2d10, 18.
After being bitten by this thing and it just takes a chunk out of your shoulder, you just react by punching your finger at it, and the whole figure erupts into flames. You can have a dexterity saving throw from Kevin now, please.
I got 15 dexterity.
Clinging on to the sword, he managed to raise himself above as this thing bursts into flames. As this Furbolg from behind takes out his bow, he leaps from the trees, swinging from a rope, and then just fires 2 arrows and they bounce off his horns.
Derek has to attack it.
Yeah, Derek saves the day. Come on.
Derek is going to take out his sword, lumber forwards, swish it down with the sword, and cuts part of his tail, and that's the last of the damage it takes. And so it cries out, slumps to one side, breathing just shallows as it gradually dies.
I would like to healing word, Throckmorton. You
Can
Can
get
someone slide me off these horns?
you get 7 HP back. Let me just try something on your legs first.
What?
Whose legs?
Okay. Throckmorton, his legs are broken.
Oh, yeah.
My mending spell, does it work on bones?
I'll let it work.
Okay, so I'm just gonna cast that. Repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch.
Putting his hands on Throckmorton's leg, there's just a horrible crack over the roar of the river, I guess. Throckmorton's leg is restored to its usual visibility.
Thank you, all you. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Apathy, and you get 17 hit points.
Thank you.
I don't want to intrude, but Triceratops meat is very rare. And can someone cut it open for me, please, so we can have a nice stew?
I'll do that.
As we do this, I'm gonna introduce Kelkian, because I've answered his mind, and so I know who he is. Guys, this is a friend. He's called Kelkian. He's really nice. He's a furbolg, and I know all his hopes, fears, and dreams.
And what are they?
Well, he's terrified of spiders, flying, just like me. He has an irrational fear of ladybugs.
He puts his hand on your shoulders, Rockmorton, and kind of pushes you away slightly. I have never met this guy in my life before.
I stare into his soul and I say, I know everything about you.
It's really intimidating.
As he looks at the rest of you, you made fine work of that dinosaur there.
God made fine work of me.
I'm going to retrieve my sword and I'm going to help Doofenshmirtz off the
Thanks.
Sheathing the sword, Kevin just begins pulling two goblins off the horns on the thing.
I can't believe the two that died and that were impaled the whole time.
Kelkium, are you a carnivore?
I eat the delicate meats of, and he rubbages in his pack and just pulls out mainly bugs. If you're keen for some rabbit, I can go hunt some of those. I'm a fair hunter.
Ladybug I see in there?
Holds up the jar and the bags that he's got, and it's 3 ladybugs.
Thought you said you were scared of them.
I never said such a thing. This winged fellow making up rumors, I guess, as he puts them back into the bag.
Checks out. Fair enough.
So, where do you all come from?
From a rock farm.
Cool. He's like, I'm Kelkian.
Sorry, kill Kian?
Kel.
He wants us to kill him, guys.
Hold on. I'm an explorer in these parts.
Not for long. A sheep.
He takes a few steps backwards, noticing he's stood by the river and he hasn't really got anywhere to back up.
Well, I walk towards him more.
How close are you getting to him?
Uncomfortably so.
Make an intimidation check, please.
Natural 20.
He's like 7.5 feet tall, and these 2 tiny goblins are walking up to him with clubs and innators and hats, and just pierced by holes in the chest. So he's backed up really close, and he's like, I mean no harm, I can be help to you here.
I will pick up both goblins and just hold them.
Holding the 2 goblins by the scruff of the neck, he's no longer so threatened by them.
Kelkium, what do you offer?
You just seem new to the island. Welcome for starters.
Can you make a camp?
Well, clearly we need to rest up, so come here. We need to cross the river first, surely.
How do we cross the river?
I usually swing over, but you don't have any rope, then
Oh, I have rope.
I can show you a nifty trick that I've learned in my time here. And he takes
I fly over.
he flies to the other side.
I'll throw Doofenshmirtz over.
Ooh. Can I have athletics check if you're going to do that?
You're going to get swept away. 12.
I am really sorry. Kevin just lobs both Doof and Schmertz into the river. Please make a survival check, please.
Very Bear Grylls of us. 15.
As you plummet into the water, it begins sweeping you away, but you're able to grasp onto a branch that's sticking out, and you're just holding on as the river's trying to pull you downstream.
I want to retry the boomerang hat thing.
Can I fly over and freeze the water where they're at so I can help them?
I mean, I have this whole thing of rope here.
It's because that guy was totally scared of us, and then he just pick us up and throw us into a river.
He's not really batting an eye that you just chucked 2 of your friends into a river. He just thinks you've dealt with the problem that was at hand. As he begins showing you apathy how to throw it over the trees, he chucks it over a branch, runs backwards, and then just dives, soaring over the river. Please can have an athletics check from you, apathy.
7.
As you try and mimic him, you 2 fall into the river. Please can have a survival check from you as well.
Crying out loud.
Going really well.
Oh dear. 15.
Landing next to them, the same branch that Doofenshmirtz is holding onto. You grasp onto this. Throgmorton, you're flying over. You land on the branch and freeze the water. You are sprayed with the water to try to pass this frozen bit.
Every 6 seconds I'm gonna freeze another 5 cube.
Throgmorton, you just begin freezing the water. It's raging around you, and every time you freeze some, you've got to clamber over it. But eventually you make it to the side.
Well, that didn't go well for anyone. So.
I throw you across, Kevin.
Oh god, no.
You throw each other at the same time.
Somebody throw with the other end of the rope.
Can't I freeze the rest?
If you want to go over and just make a bridge, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I do a really slow motion Elsa.
Throgmorton, you take him to the side and just finish off making this ice bridge. As you do that, the whole river that's, frozen is almost like a dam across the river itself. Current's really strong against it and begins throwing off chunks of ice.
Doing a penguin slide on my belly.
Am I still alright if I'm 25 stone?
Well, I'm going first.
I'm quite...
Please can I just make maybe a survival.
Like 17.
Tentatively, you take steps and the ice just begins cracking beneath you. More chunks flying off as the current washes them downstream. As you make it to the side, just the bridge begins to collapse into the river. As you turn around, the entire ice bridge that Throgmorton made has gone.
Ask if Derek wants a lift.
Derek is still very confident in his just recent defeat of the dinosaur, and he's sat at the dinosaur now, just trying to get the head to take that as a trophy.
I take him by force.
He's weak, so you just pick him up and carry him across. He's kicking his legs, he's crying a bit, and you make it to the side. Kelkian is like, looks like we'll need to rest up before continuing further.
Good idea.
Cool.
Make everyone cheese sandwiches.
Can I cook the triceratops meat and then eat a bag of shrimp?
You wander for about an hour to try and find the best camp. Eventually you come across a cliffside bit, I guess, which looks across you see the volcano in the distance, and you see some kind of civilization there as well. As you rest on the cliffside overlooking this vast scenery, you make a small camp, cooking the meat, etc. Kelkian says he's going to go off to hunt for a bit.
Kelkian, can you get me some fur? I want to make some new clothes.
Is the heath fairy?
He is a furry person, yes.
I provide the bread.
I'll provide the meat.
I'll provide the barbecue sauce.
My dragon will provide the fire.
I feel like that your little dragon should have like one of the spikes be a little button like on a lighter. Just like.
So is this a long rest or a short rest?
I think we need a long rest.
I definitely do.
So you all begin taking your long rest.
Derek keeps watch.
Derek's still sulking that he didn't get to keep the dinosaur head as he sits on a stump because he clearly didn't get hurt at all. He's beginning to just sharpen his sword on a rock that he finds on the ground. Are you, as you begin to take your long rest, you are awoken a few hours later by the very familiar sound that you're well accustomed to, but mainly coming out of Apathy's mouth, as there's a voice that is in your head that just says, "Come."
I roll over and go back to sleep.
You roll back over and you fall asleep again. Shortly after, you are awoken once more with a more stern command to come.
Okay, I will follow.
You're coming out and you hear just buzzing, and you see drops of pollen that just raining around that's leading you down a specific path.
I'll follow the path.
The buzzing getting louder and louder as you keep walking down this path, following the pollen. It's just floating mysteriously in the air. About 10 minutes of walking and following these little lights, you come across a small stream, and you see a leaf in the middle that's weirdly not affected by the water flow at all. And atop that, you see a bumblebee.
I fall on my face on the ground,
You hear the voice again as it's coming from the mouth of this bee. It just says, "Come closer."
sort of shuffle closer.
Are you going into the water, or are you just
Well, yeah, the bees told me to. I'll stand up and walk.
rising to your feet? You begin walking on the surface of the water itself. You reach this bee in the center. Towering above it is just this tiny bee, and in its hand it's holding a strange silver ring, and it offers it up to you.
I take it.
So the ring itself is in the shape of some kind of feather. It's like a curled over feather of just silver. She just says to you, "You're going to need this."
I put it in a pocket.
I said, no, you must wear this ring.
I look at the ring and then look at my fat fingers and I put it in my ear. I think I've got a pierced ear, don't I?
She then flies up and whispers something in your ear, which I'll message you later what she says. As then she flies out and then just begins dissolving into pollen. And the rest of the pollen is leading back to the camp, settled on the ground. And then the water just sinks. Falls into the stream.
I walk back to camp and go back to sleep.
You're awake all later on, well rested, feeling a lot better than you were. Kelkian is sat there tending the fire. He's got a string of unicorn bunnies that he's killed that he's beginning to cut open and prepare to cook for you. So you're looking over the vast scenery of this island. You see two volcanoes, which you saw on your way in as well. There is some kind of world civilization at the center of this island. Kelkian is cooking up these almiraj, and he's like, "So what does bring you to this island?" Take your point of inspiration.
Thanks.
I give Doofenshmirtz a crisp high five.
From
Yeah, I've
Saltmarsh.
forgotten what was our actual reason.
Why are you ghosting on us?
What do you mean?
Why won't you respond to our messages of peace?
People come over with gifts all the time. We just, take them in, and they choose to stay.
Oh, so you're...
So just everyone stays. I don't believe you.
I can show you. City's just that way, and he points, and you can see, obviously, the large walled civilization that's a few miles away.
Right, why would everyone just choose to stay then?
Do people
They
age
drugged
here?
them, maybe.
Your questions will be answered in due course.
They'll be answered now.
I can take...
Doofenshmirtz, threaten him again.
I draw a circle around us and label it due course.
Okay, look, there's a lot you must understand first before I can take you into the city, and it will all become clear.
Well, then we might get trapped there as well. Not
Yeah, like, who are you? Also,
I am Kelkian.
I know your name, but who are you?
I'm Kelkian, son of Kelkian. I'm an explorer. I came in search of the sea princes and find them, I did.
Sea princes.
Like I said, I will take you to the answers that you seek, but
So tell us.
Definitely drugs.
just look like a stoner type person being a furball, but he doesn't seem to fit the stereotype. He's got little glasses on, an explorer's vest, a little compass in his top pocket. He describes himself as a historian. He's like, just like you, I came with a peace offering, and the life is it's magnificent.
Let's tie him up.
Let's burn him at the
Let's
stake.
tie him up and sneak to the city and find out for ourselves.
No, do not go to the city first. You need the full history of the place before
Well, tell us then.
I can take you there. The sea princes themselves, or at least replicas of them, we're still in discussion, have been encased in crystal. The tour I take most of you adventurers on. Everyone in the city, they take anyone who can use magic to be the return of the sea princes, and you'll be treated like royalty. I'm treated like royalty. I'm called names I don't even understand the meaning of. Well, they're
Like, idiot.
they give you the biggest mansions. They bring gold to you. They just treat you like kings.
Alright, let's go then. But we should tie this guy up, tie him to Derek.
Can I roll a perception check to see if I can notice or use new bling?
You've been around him long enough to notice that he's got something.
Where'd you get that bling?
The pond
What pond?
over there. Went to the pond. I saw Beelzebub. I walked off, picked up a ring, and he disappeared. And I went back to bed.
Are you sure that was Beelzebub?
Well, I was.
Yeah, but maybe Beelzebub is faking it.
I
And the
strike
real
Throckmorton.
Don't listen to him or you.
I sit
I
down and
believe
start to cry.
I believe in Beelzebub. I already do. Think I had a moment of a come to be moment.
Found the stripes.
I rummage in or use Pat to make him a honey sandwich and offer it to him.
I take it and eat it.
Honey and lemon tea.
Thank you. I blow
just
my nose.
flip.
Can we examine the earring?
Can I roll Arcana?
You can.
18.
It seems to be not tracking something, but it's monitoring it. Some kind of state that he's in magically.
Okay, we're gonna go to the city.
Or the
Did you say
cave.
something about a cave first?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Sea
cave. Yeah.
princes are still
I wrote the cave.
We'll go to the cave.
Yeah.
Also, has this guy got any decent stuff on him?
He's got a compass in his top pocket, like I said, just an explorer's vest on. Got a staff in one hand and bow on his back.
I'll take it all.
So you just get a compass and bow. And then you tie him up, I'm guessing, with Derek.
And then we blindfold Derek.
And you blindfold him and he gets, carried away.
If he's blindfolded and we've got this guy tied to him, he's got a massive obstruction if he wants to run away.
Surely he'd just take the blindfold off him.
How are they bound? In my
Rope.
mind, you found them back to back, but that's probably not how you would.
No, it's like a piggyback kind of thing, but with
No,
rope.
I'd go three-legged race style.
Three-legged race plus the hands are
What about
bound.
like a wheelbarrow? Like tie one person's feet to the other person's hands.
I like that. Let's do wheelbarrow.
Yeah, wheelbarrow.
So wheelbarrow style, you begin heading off. This guy's directing you from below. You just hear him grunt every now and then. You don't encounter anything. Very, very quiet all day. As eventually you come to where he's like, "Okay, can you put me down now, please?
No.
We're close. I need to uncover it."
We'll tell us how to do it and we'll do it.
He groans. He's like, "Oh, fine. The entrance is just further up ahead. Look, it'd be a lot easier if you just let me down. It's hard to describe what I need to do."
I go a bit further up ahead.
Can I have a perception check, please?
We do have like mad trust issues with everybody.
22.
You see what must be the entrance. You come up to a cliff face. See a crack that would open up in some aspect.
I kiss it.
You go up to the wall and you kiss the wall and nothing happens.
Just untie him and let him do his magical thing.
Can we keep the rope tied around his ankle so we could just like yoink?
He begins walking over, takes out his staff, and then just hits the surface of the cliff face. He takes the staff and he whacks it on the rock surface. You hear just a real loud crack resound from around. It seems to be glowing just a green from behind the rock, and then it just melts away into just a cavern that descends down. If you can let me lead the way without the whole hands and crawling.
I take his staff.
And he's like, "Enough of this. I'm offering you everything here. You're tying me up and you're leading me like this." And he's like, "I'm offering you the chance to come into this and experience once in a lifetime historical events. I'm not going to be treated like this any longer." And he's like, "You can go in there alone. I'm not going to lead you anymore."
I think he needs to calm down and stop having a little tantrum.
You tied yourself up.
Don't tie yourself up and blame it on us. We were just trying to use the cave with you. You insisted on this.
Look, last time offer, release me, I'll guide you through the cave. If not, you're going in alone, and good luck.
We should agree to letting him lead us, but we take everything he has on him.
Can we keep his clothes on, please?
Yeah, leave a loincloth or something like
Oh,
that.
good, yeah,
But
yeah.
I've got his staff. I'm just worried we're going to get trapped in this tunnel, and that's why people...
Maybe we should
Never-
leave Derek outside with the staff to like tap us out if we need it.
Yeah, but do we trust Derek not to wander off?
We really don't.
No.
Gareth,
I'm
We'll
scared
give the
of that.
staff to somebody else.
I don't believe Duke and Schmerz will come.
He's like, oh, return everything that you've taken from it, please.
We'll return it when we get out of here safely.
You will get out of here. This is just a
Yeah, we can't believe you though, can we?
purely for my benefit than it is for yours. I'm a historian. I love this thing. This is my life. And
You said you were an explorer.
Yeah.
You can't be two things at once.
Said the astral
Two-dimensional.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll it in
navigator.
check.
roll an
That's
intellect check.
16.
18.
He appears to be believing that he's a historian.
Earlier he said he was an adventurer.
He has multiple personality disorder.
SDID. That's it. No, it's the island.
Maybe there's two of him. Like actually two of him.
Okay, let's go through the cave with Kelkian as our guide.
Can I have a torch if I'm going to lead the way?
You want to be
Yeah.
free, you want a torch, you want some clothes.
You want our rope so you can tie yourself up? Like,
I give him a torch.
I give him a really devastating stare.
So you head into the cave itself. Kelkian with the torch in front of him, just a loincloth on. It descends down and it's really cold. And as you shine his torch, you see crystals beginning to just line the walls themselves until you're stepping into just a pure cave of literally crystal walls. You feel a very spiritual presence around, as if you've been watched by many, many people. Please can have a perception check from everyone who's taking note of the surroundings.
Can I start chipping away at the crystals?
Quick.
14.
19 on perception.
14.
Can I get a crystal off?
You can to begin breaking up and you take the crystal.
I'm gonna swallow it.
So Schmerz and you are able to see shadows just moving around inside the crystals themselves. Kevin, as you begin chipping away, you see a shadow just become clearer and clearer behind the shadows until you see what looks to be a human carrying a flute, just skipping in the shadows themselves. Kelkian is like, yes, that's one of the sea princes. He was the piper. He kidnapped people to take into his crew. And now just over there, and he points to the shadows in the distance as well. That's another of the sea princes just coming to greet us.
Something makes me think these spirits are the people who came here and they got trapped in the crystals and there's some sort of weird clone.
I have a question. Are there 12 spirits in total?
There were 7 sea princes, and I came here in search of them. And this is their, I guess, resting place. But
So what are we doing here?
well, we've just got to descend a bit further, or we'll become clear very shortly.
That sounds ominous as fuck.
Nothing to be scared of, but it's for the ride.
A museum of torture. Carry on.
He kind of bridges off into 2 separate tunnels, and he's like, this is one that should be experienced firsthand, so whoever wants to take the torch and lead the way, take it from me. He just offers it to the group.
I take my
I'll
first
take-
hand and I take the torch. Oh, carry on, sorry.
Me and Throck both grab it at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time. Our hands touch slightly and we share a moment.
Together, you hold the torch and begin descending down. Below, you see huge ship, but it seems almost like a shipwreck. And on it, you see a ton of just ghosts floating along the surface as if they're still sailing on the water. In reverent whispers, Kelkian is like, this is the reason I came. The ship has been lost centuries and centuries ago, and yet here it is on this island. It's a mystery how it's even here, but the crew still work it.
Next exhibition.
You're leading the way now, Throckmorton, so you can continue down.
It's me and Doof.
It's you and Schmerz, actually.
Sorry, all goblins look the same to me.
The moment's over.
Whoever wants to do a history check, you would know about this ship.
Let's do a history.
14 again.
16.
1.
Oh, 0.
You know of not sea princes, but you know of legendary pirates. You see as the captain steps up, he is holding some kind of cutlass. Rays are thin and it seems to be flowing with water, as Kelkian is like the sea prince himself there. All of these captains, all 7 princes, were cursed, and the weapons that they held are passed down through the generations of sea princes. It is said that they still roam the seas even to this day, and that sword itself, and you notice that the sword that it's holding forward, it just vanishes, and he's like, lost to legend. Any wielder of it will be almost godlike, more so than the people of the city. He takes you through various passages of this cavern until you see various displays of these 7 sea princes, until at last he comes against the final exhibition, which is another just large, just sheet of crystal. And he's like, if you would all step up to the rock, peer into this surface.
I'm gonna hang back.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
As you all stare into the rock itself, stepping forward, you see almost a reflection. You see yourselves at first, and then from behind you, you see someone wielding it looks like a warhammer of sorts, but it's all made of corals, and there are crabs holding onto it, and the handle itself is made of tentacles. As you see Kelkian himself begin wielding this hammer and raising it up behind you. And that's where we're going to end the session for today.
Well, it's been nice.